Good afternoon everyone. Welcome back to CAD Technologies. Today in this video we'll be seeing a basic level component and how to make the same component using CATIA as our CAD tool. Now here the first thing we usually do from all our videos is to understand what the drawing is and the angle of projection. So as you can see in the drawing we have two views. This is my front view and this is my top view. So understanding it is a third angle projection, and there's also a section view which is AA, which is shown in the front view, which has a detailed description of how the internal features actually look like. So let's begin making this model without any further delays. We'll go one after the other and follow a particular feature based approach. Following the feature based approach, we'll be making a complete cylinder of 76 and then the shape on the top and then another cylinder of 40, and then slowly start removing the material one after the other. Let's begin. Under start we have mechanical design and part design. Under part design, since I am taking it as a cylindrical feature, I'd like to add the material using shaft. Again, I want to maintain the dimensions both 10 and 25 instead of adding and giving it as 35. The first rule of feature based dimensioning is to control your model using the given dimensions in your drawing. So to control them in a better manner, you can take it this way and give both the dimensions with respect to the center. This is my center, this is 10. This is my center, this is supposed to be 25. Now the overall dimension of this is 76, as you can see. So again I am trying to take 76 and exit. Now it tries to create the cylindrical object. The reason we have taken only this as a cylindrical object is because the 20 whatever addition of material is happening is of this shape, as you can see on the screen. Now let's begin making that shape. To add material, we cannot use a shaft of course, so we'll be using a pad command to do so and using the top view. Let me try to take the top view and start making the profile by taking 64 as my reference. Now I can use this as the reference, and I can also keep my center lines for further better understanding. So this is my 0, 0. Similarly, I can take it in the vertical. I actually put it here also, no problem. Since we have taken our references, let's start making a model. Under line, we have a symmetrical line. This is equally distributed line on both the sides. So I'm using a symmetrical line to maintain an equal distance on both the sides, and obviously maintain the dimensions provided in the drawing, which is 64 and 45 from the respected center, which is the circle center. Same manner, there are two arcs over here as well as 55. So let's try to take 55 first. It's a little more easier to do so. This is 55. From here, let's try to take R20s and further move on. R20s, I'd like to use circle because I can trim them off later. It's a little easier for me to. You can of course use arcs and work on it. There's nothing wrong. I'm taking 20 radii and I'm mirroring this onto the opposite side. Now, we know to control these two, we have a distance in between both of them. So let's try to mention that distance as well and then give it as 120. Now, we can use line tangent or a simple line to join these two. Line tangent is also a preferable option. You can use anything, whichever you feel flexible. I'd like to mirror it in one shot so I don't face further issues. So I want to maintain tangency here. Similarly, I want to maintain tangency here as well, and then join these two using your trim. Okay. Now I'd like to join these using my simple lines and maintain tangencies as well. Same thing can be mirrored onto the other side and trim whatever is not necessary. This is not necessary and this is not necessary. Similarly, I have these two as well, which are not really important. This is your profile. So once I exit the workbench, it will try to show you how much do you want to add this to. As per the drawing, it is supposed to be up to 20. So 20 is already taken by default. So I'm just leaving it like that and adding the material. Now, you can either add this by using a pad or by using shaft, whichever you're flexible. Since I already have 10 dimension provided to me, I can control it using my pad as well. So I'm just trying to use a pad command to control the whole thing, and I'd like to use the circle. Now I'm making a circle at a random place because I want it to be placed exactly at the central location. I'll be using my constraints to constrain the circle. And now I'd like to give the dimension. We already know the dimension is actually 40, so I'm trying to take this as 40. This should be added only up to 10, so let's try to give that as well. Now you can cut this shape in any view, or you can cut this shape in any view, but I'd prefer the front view because it's a little more easier. Now to remove a material you can use groove, because I'd like to remove this in a cylindrical manner. So I'm trying to use a groove command, selecting the sketch and starting to work on it. The first and the foremost thing I'd like to do is take the axis, and the second is using what references I'll be working on. So similarly I have this body reference as well, so I'm using that too. What is the profile I'd like to cut? Since we have already maintained the dimensions, we can cut this particular portion. I don't have to give the 10 or anything, repeat again. All I have to do is give the internal cuts, which is of actually 54. So let's try to take that 54 and then try to cut the material. I do the wrong side. I'm supposed to cut the other side of the sketch. Sorry, this side. Perfect. Now I'd like to give 54. This is 54. Now once I say exit, it again tries to cut the material, as you can see, and gives you the shape as per our drawing. Now we can do the internal cuts as well. So let's try to do the internal cuts. Since they're all diametrical, I'd like to use shaft groove again, and I'd like to finish that off in one go. So I'm using this as the reference as the axis first, and then other references such as the ends and the ends of the body as well as the cylinder. Cylinder is actually not required because I can make the shape internally. I'm using a profile to do so. Starting from here, goes till there, maybe, and then cut this shape from the existing cylinder. Now let's start giving the dimensions one after the other. So I have this outer one at 20, and I have the inner one at 8, and I have the bottom one at bottom one at 42. Now the other dimensions are the heights, etc. This is 45 and this is 40. Now this usually tries to remove the material internally, as you can see. I can show you the preview. Once you say OK, it tries to cut the material and you can see the body. Last but not the least, we do have these holes and a small feature which is you're supposed to remove. Let's try to remove this and then drill the holes in later on. Again, I'm trying to use a groove command to remove the same and try to use my axis. Similarly, I'll be using this end as the reference because I need the end for creating the shape. Now let's try to take the semicircle at this location. I have the arc option, and from here I'm taking the semicircle. The center is actually matching, the center to center dimensions are already given. So let's try to take that as well as give the arc dimension. Arc is actually 3. We know that the center to the end axis dimension is provided, which is actually supposed to be, center to center is supposed to be 62. We just got really close. Now, when you remove it, it removes this one, as you can see. Now, last but not the least are the holes. You can directly use the hole command to work on. Now, while drilling the holes, it's mandatory to maintain the relation or concentricity or constraints, because if we try to change the body, the whole body updates itself. Now, once I do that, I'd like to give the final dimension, which is 16, and it's supposed to be through, so I'm just trying to give up to next. And the whole thing can be mirrored onto the other side with respect to the center plane. The reason why we do these kind of features is when we are trying to edit the pad or the top sketch, the sketch. The 120 can be changed time to time. I can make this 140 as well. So when that 140 happens, the whole feature should not update, it should auto update. It should not fail. Hence, we actually give the concentric features. This is the model which we are back on. I'd like to show you the section view as well on the front view, as you can see. This is a basic level component. This will be taught in our basic level of training in CATIA. But if you're looking for any advanced level of training or you want to work on internship, you can contact us. Our details are given in the description below. Meanwhile, if you are looking for any jobs, also you can just WhatsApp your details to us. We'll see if you're suitable and let you know. Please subscribe to our channel for more tutorials and for more details. Thank you.